Alright, today you're going to determine the best method to solve a system of equations. We've graphed systems, we have solved by substitution, and we've solved by elimination. So you're going to determine the best way to solve it. Once you solve it, then you're going to determine whether or not you have one solution, infinite solutions, or no solution. So to determine whether or not you're going to graph, we use this a lot just to estimate, but if you have two equations where y is all by itself, so say the first equation y equals 2x minus 8, the second equation y equals 1/2 x plus 7, where both of these have y solved for, that would be a good time to use your graphing, either your graphing calculator or to graph on a coordinate plane. Okay, substitution, if one of the variables is either, in either equation has a coefficient of either a 1 or a -1, or if you have x or a y all by itself in one of the equations. So if you have x equals 2y minus 9 and 2x plus 3y equals 12, if this occurs where x is all by itself, I would use substitution. Elimination you're going to use if the variables are lined up. If you notice, that's the same in both of them. And then you're going to look for the same or opposite coefficients. If it's the same or opposite coefficients, you're going to add or subtract. If not, but you can still create opposite coefficients for one variable pretty easily, then you're going to use multiplication. So we're going to look at this system. If you notice your x and your y's are lined up, the equals are lined up. So that tells us we're going to use elimination. Then we're going to look at the coefficients. These are not the same or opposite, so we're not going to look at the x's right now. The y's are the same. We want them to be opposites, so to make them opposites, we're going to just change the sign on all three, and then we're going to go ahead and add. So you get 5 plus 2 is 7x. The 7y's will subtract out, and then you get 2 minus 9 is -7. Solve for x by dividing by 7. X equals -1. Then you're going to use that value and substitute it into either equation and solve. So let's use the top equation. I didn't change that. And we have 5 times x. We just found x to be -1 plus 7y equals 2. And to solve this, 5 times -1 is -5 plus 7y equals 2. You're going to add 5 to both sides. 7y equals 7. Divide by 7 to both sides, and y equals 1. So you have one solution located at -1, 1. Our second equation, again, you notice that the variables are lined up, the equals are lined up, so we're going to use elimination again. We're going to look at these x's, a 3 and a 5. Those they don't become each other very easily unless by multiplication, so we're going to look at the y values. The y, a 4 can become an 8, so we're going to choose to get the y's to be the same value. To get them to be the same value, a 4 can become an 8 by multiplication using 2. So we're going to multiply the entire top equation by 2. And 2 times 3 gives us 6x. 2 times -4 gives us -8y. And 2 times -10 is -20. The bottom one we don't have to change at all. 5x plus 8y equals -2. If you notice, our 8's are opposite, so we can go ahead and add. 6x plus 5x will give you 11x. The 8y's will subtract out. -20 minus 2 is -22. To solve for x, we divide by 11. And x gives us -2. Then you're going to take this -2 and go to either equation and solve. I'm going to do the bottom equation because I haven't done anything to it. So we have 5 times x. X we just found to be -2 plus 8 times y equals -2. From here we're going to solve this. 5 times -2 is -10. Now you'll add 10 to both sides to get y by itself. 8y equals 8. Divide by 8, y equals 1. And we have one solution located at -2, 1. On the last one, you can automatically see that the variables are not lined up. You also see that y is by itself in only one equation. So because it's by itself in only one equation, we're going to use substitution. And this means that we're going to take all of our y value and replace it in the second equation. So we have 3x minus 2 times y. Y now is 4x plus 10 from the top equation, equals -7. Then we'll distribute the -2 through to get -8x minus 20. Combine like terms to get -5x minus 20 equals -7. Add 20. And you get -5x equals 13. Divide by -5, and x equals -2.6. Now we're going to use this, and I'm going to go up all the way to the top. And I'm going to use that equation because y is already by itself. So we have y equals 4 times x, which we just found to be -2.6 plus 10. 4 times -2.6 is -10.4 plus 10. Those add to give you -0.4 or 0.4. And this tells us we have one solution located at -2.6 and -0.4. Okay, good luck. If you'll start out by determining which method you're going to use and then go ahead and solve on your assignment.